come to the last session of our two-day conference. It's Transforming Publishing, the intersection of innovation, experience, and learning. What is the way forward? This session will focus on the transformative changes happening in the publishing industry and the way forward for publishers. It will explore the intersection of innovation, user experience, and learning in shaping the future of publishing. The session will discuss emerging technologies, digital platform, new formats, revolutionizing how content is created, consumed, and shared. It will also address the importance of fostering a culture of experimentation, collaboration, and continuous learning in the publishing ecosystem. The session aims to inspire publishers to embrace change, adapt to evolving reader expectations, and explore new avenues for growth in the dynamic publishing landscape. With the introduction of NEP, we feel it is very important to know what is the way forward for us. And for this, I'll request Dr. J.S. Rajput ji, who is a former director of NCRT, to chair this session. I'll request Dr. J.S. Rajput ji to come on the dais. Professor Rajput is an eminent educationist with rich experience in various fields, including UNESCO. Professor Rajput is known for his contribution in reforms in school education and teacher education. He has held several assignments, which include Professor in NCRT, 1974, Principal of the Regional Institute of Education, Bhopal, 1977 to 78, Joint Educational Advisor, Ministry of HRD, Government of India, 1989 to 94, Chairman, NCER, National Council for Teacher Education, NCTE, from 94 to 99, and the Director of NCRT, 99 to 204. Professor Rajput proposed valuable changes in school education curriculum as Director NCRT, popularly known as SAI values: truth, peace, non-violence, righteous conduct, dharma, which we call, and love. Thank you, sir. Thank you for finding time and coming to chair this session. Then we have Mr. Rajesh Agarwal, an IAS Secretary to the Government of India. He is a computer science graduate from IIT Delhi in the year 1983 to 87, where his main interests were algorithms and artificial intelligence. Joined IAS in 1989. He did his initial field posting in Maharashtra in several districts. During his stint at Election Commission of India, New Delhi, from 2003 to 2007, he developed a lot of fuzzy matching techniques to dedupe the voter list. Worked with large database, 700 million voters and 500 million photographs in more than a dozen Indian languages. Executed photo rolls project. Now, you see your photographs printed in the voter list. He is a person who did when he was in Election Commission of India. And also, he convinced Delimitation Commission to make new assembly and parliament boundaries using GIS maps from Census of India. Okay, at present, he is Secretary to the Government of India in the Ministry of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities. Welcome, sir. And we have with us Varun Agarwal. He is founder of the Change Engine. I'll invite Mr. Varun Agarwal. He is an MIT graduate and is the founder of Change Engine and Escalator Nurturing and Funding Entrepreneurs addressing challenging problems. He is also the co-founder of FAST India, a non-profit dedicated to transforming India's science and technology ecosystem. Varun's authorship spans science, ecosystem insights, deep tech, children's literature and fiction. With extensive angel investing and advisory roles, he co-authored Future Apreneurs to a book on Indian deep tech startup. He has been composing Hindi and English poems since high school. So welcome to this session, and I'll request Dr. J.S. Rajput ji to take it further. Thank you.
I am indeed very happy to be here amongst several known faces and some new faces. When Naveen ji asked me to come over here, I said I don't have much experience about what is going to happen in the publishing by way of innovations. He insisted. I said, yes, I'll come. Yes, in the NCRT, I spent 5 years as the director. And I remember when we were publishing some new books, we had in fact changed the curriculum and changed all the books. And for the classes 1 to 8, we are using black and white only. I said make it 4 color. Enhance the GSM by 10. They said, no, this is just not possible. We will go into loss, this and that, all those things. I said, no, let us experiment, go ahead. And it worked. The way those books were presented made all the difference. And NCRT, in fact, many people think it is subsidized by the government. It also earns profit on its books because it has a credibility. It has acquired a national credibility over the years and it works. Why I am mentioning it? Because when I was listening to eminent speakers before this, I was also reminded of one more experience. I met a very senior author of the NCRT books. I went to his place and said, sir, kindly revise the manuscript. There are many suggestions from teachers, and teachers' suggestions are really worthwhile. And after you have revised, I will call some 20 teachers of the class, particular class. They will stay here for 1 week and give their suggestions if they find any topic to be difficult. Because having served as a professor in NCRT 1974 onwards, I was aware of one thing. Teachers used to point out it is very difficult for us to take up this topic, or this topic has no relevance, or this topic has no continuity. Therefore, I introduced this. Let teachers come, teachers of the class come. I am talking of textbooks. He refused. A very eminent person. He said, no, you want my manuscript to be vetted by school teachers. I said, sir, it is not vetted by school teachers. They will just tell you what are their problems. The final word would be yours. He refused. The point I am making is, you have to conduct, if necessary, researches with institutions, publishers and organizations like NCRT, CBSE. Why can't they come together? Why can't they sit together and enhance the quality by their deliberations, by conducting research projects if necessary, ascertaining what the children need and what the teachers require. One of the areas that will gain a lot of importance, it already has, but it is not being responded to, is material for teachers. It is not necessary to have only the guidelines for teachers or guidebooks for teachers. In the NCT, when I was the chairperson, we prepared some material. For example, whenever I read Sri Aurobindo's philosophy, I found it very difficult to comprehend. So I decided that I would like to get a book prepared on Sri Aurobindo for high school teachers, those who have read only up to class 10. And Mr. Manoj Das wrote such a book with a lot of efforts. In NCRT, I requested Dr. Subhash Kashyap that you have written books for law graduates, researchers in law on constitution. Why not write a book for a primary school teacher? What is the relevance of constitution? He initially was very reluctant, but I persuaded him and he wrote. The idea is, it makes all the difference if readers' interests are studied by publishers and authors are also involved. I wish I had conducted in the NCRT the interactive meetings between publishers, authors, and those who are the target groups? That is something to be done. And from there, innovations will definitely appear one by one. But the main point that I am supposed to make here is that in years to come, few things will become very important, which every publisher will have to take note of, every author will have to take note of. Rabindranath Tagore wrote once that every child when he is born is blessed with two boons by the nature or by Almighty or by God. These boons are power of ideas and power of imagination. No child is deprived of these two. Even if he has some different abilities, you must have seen this, observed this in every child. When I talk about in my lectures, in detailed lectures which I deliver in schools and institutions, I add two more things. And they are part of these two. That is curiosity and creativity. If you see all these five, they are there and they constitute the entire curriculum for the growing up of the child. Gurudev said that while these two boons are available in abundance to every child, our education system tries its best to impede both of them. It crushes both of them. And I liked it. Therefore, I say that if these four terms are in the minds of the authors and also the publishers, because you reshape the materials provided by the authors. You become the link between the author and the reader. So if these four factors are taken into account, it will make a big difference. It will enhance quality. And why I am mentioning this is there will be no dearth of innovations. A child who is encouraged in his ideas, a child who is encouraged in imagination, you will not have to ask him for any innovations. Innovations will flow in abundance. And that is what is future going to be in the field of knowledge. We have learned so much about it. Muscle power, money power, mind power. Then now we say we are moving from information society to knowledge society. And this is best described by Bertrand Russell. He said, if humanity pursues only knowledge, it will perish. It is the wisdom that will matter. Therefore, the point is, are you creating wisdom also? You are disseminating knowledge? Fine. Knowledge was at its peak when the experiment was made, atomic explosion, first atomic explosion took place in Los Alamos in 1945. But wisdom was not there. विवेक नहीं था. अगर विवेक भी होता ज्ञान के साथ, बुद्धि भी होती, विवेक होता, तो हिरोशिमा नहीं होता. ये उदाहरण मैं बार बार दोहराता हूं क्योंकि बर्टन रसल को पढ़ने के बाद मुझे एकदम आया कि उसका अर्थ क्या है. उसका अर्थ यही है. मैंने पंडित विद्यानिवास मिश्र से एक पुस्तक लिखाई कि मेरी ज्ञान परंपरा में क्या कुछ ऐसा है जो आज भी सार्थक है, आगे भी रहेगा. उन्होंने एक पुस्तक लिखी, हिंदी में लिखी. उन्होंने कहा कि 4 स्टेजेस होती हैं सीखने की, सिखाने की. अध्ययन, जिसके लिए हम किताब बनाते हैं, अध्यापक देते हैं. मनन, अध्ययन के बाद सोचिए क्या आपने सीखा. अगर 40 मिनट आपने लेक्चर सुना है तो बच्चों को देना चाहिए समय कि 5 मिनट बैठो जरा सोचो क्या तुमने सीखा. एंड द मोमेंट दे रिफ्लेक्ट, बहुत से सवाल पैदा हो जाएंगे. नाउ दे से मनन, टॉक टू, दैट इज नॉर्मली वी कैन से पीयर लर्निंग. आपस में बात करो. और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात है, ज्ञान वही उपयोगी है, ज्ञान वही सार्थक है जिसका सदुपयोग होता हो. आप सोचिए, अगर हिरोशिमा के बाद सारी दुनिया ने फैसला किया होता कि अब एटॉमिक बॉम्ब बनाने की दिशा में कोई रिसर्च नहीं होगी, कोई आगे नहीं बढ़ेगा, तो आज दुनिया का स्वरूप क्या होता? बहुत कुछ बदल जाता। इसलिए आगे चलकर जो समाज बनेगा वो बुद्धि और विवेक पर आधारित होगा, और ऐसा समाज तभी बनता है जब नए इनोवेशंस होते रहें। और आपका जो क्षेत्र है उसके महत्व पर बड़ी चर्चा हुई है, मैं भी उससे सहमत हूँ, इसमें दो राय नहीं है। और सब बड़ी बात जो मुझे ये लगी कि पब्लिशर्स का रिकग्निशन समाज उतना नहीं करता। एनसीईआरटी में हम लोग पायरेसी से बहुत प्रभावित होते थे, बड़ा खराब लगता था। मुश्किल ये है कि क्रेडिबिलिटी किसी भी सिस्टम की उसी के प्रयासों से बनती है। आपकी भी जिम्मेदारी है कि अगर ऐसे लोग कहीं पर आपके यहाँ बीच में हैं तो उनका संबंध में ये अपेक्षा मत करिए कि सरकार का ही काम है उन्हें पकड़ना या उनके साथ कुछ जो करना। आप भी उन्हें बता सकते हैं, आप भी उन्हें बहिष्कृत कर सकते हैं। समाज के लिए आवश्यक है, ज्ञान समाज के लिए आवश्यक है, बुद्धि और विवेक के बढ़ाने के लिए आवश्यक है। ऐसी बहुत सी चीज़ें हैं। मैं यहाँ यही कहना चाहता था कि अभी यूनेस्को का एक बहुत बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट है, पिछले 3 साल से चल रहा है, फ्यूचर्स ऑफ एजुकेशन। इसमें सारे इनोवेशंस की चर्चा होती है, क्या होगा, क्या समाज होगा। और सभी का एक ख्याल है कि अनलेस एंड अनटिल लर्निंग टू नो एंड लर्निंग टू डू इज फाइन, हम उसी पर केंद्रित हो गए हैं। इसीलिए हमारी कमियां उजागर हुई हैं। हमने लर्निंग टू बी एंड लर्निंग टू बिकम उसको ध्यान नहीं दिया है। हमें ऐसा समाज बनाना है जहां पर केयरिंग हो, शेयरिंग हो, और ये इस बात का एहसास हो कि 21वीं शताब्दी में हर व्यक्ति को ऐसा अवसर मिलना चाहिए कि वो मनुष्य का जीवन विद ड्यू डिग्निटी एंड बेसिक नेसेसिटीज जी सके। ये तभी होगा जब हम अपने बच्चों को अपनी पुस्तकों के द्वारा, अपने अध्यापकों के द्वारा, अपनी शिक्षा के द्वारा उन चीज़ों को दिखा सकेंगे जिसमें एम्पैथी होगी, कंसिडरेशन फॉर अदर्स होगा। और हमारे पास तो अनेक उदाहरण, हमारी संस्कृति, हमारी परंपरा इतनी सशक्त। मैं आप सबके लिए यही कहना चाहता हूं कि अपने व्यवसाय में सुधार करना बहुत आवश्यक है। जो छोटे से 1-2% लोग ऐसे हैं जो केवल धनार्जन पर ही विश्वास करते हैं, उनको बहिष्कृत करना भी आपकी जिम्मेदारी है। एनसीईआरटी जैसी संस्थाएं राष्ट्र की सेवा करती हैं, एनसीईआरटी है, एनबीटी है, सीबीएसई है। इनको इस तरह की चीज़ों में डालना या उनके कार्य को खराब करना उचित नहीं है। लेकिन कुछ तत्व है जो करते हैं, मैं जानता हूं। और मैं तो चाहता हूं कि मैं फिर इस बात को दोहरा देता हूं कि आप लेखक, पब्लिशर और ये संस्थाएं सब एक साथ मिले तो बहुत कुछ बनेगा। और अध्यापकों की ओर विशेष ध्यान देना होगा, क्योंकि अगर समाज में कोई दृष्टिकोण परिवर्तन करना है तो अध्यापकों के द्वारा होगा। क्योंकि भविष्य के निर्माता जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है उसमें अध्यापक भी सबसे पहले आते हैं। उनके लिए सम्मान रखना होगा, ये करना होगा। बाकी रिसर्च की बात मैंने कह दी है। लास्ट बात मेरी ये है कि नई शिक्षा नीति में एक बहुत बड़ी बात कही गई है, वो ये है मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरिटी। इसलिए अब लिखने का, किताबों में जो लिखा जाएगा उसे भी इसका ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। आइंस्टीन ने कहा था कि अगर मेरा बस चले तो मैं करिकुलम में केवल 2 विषय रखूंगा। और वो 2 विषय कौन से होंगे? म्यूजिक एंड मैथमेटिक्स। और कुछ नहीं रखूंगा मैं, कोई सोशल साइंस और हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी में कुछ नहीं रखना, म्यूजिक एंड मैथमेटिक्स। और जब मैं उसको पढ़ता हूं तो मुझे याद आता है गांधी ने कहा था कि तकली से शुरू करो। बहुत कुछ उसमें था। इन छोटी चीज़ों में बड़े बड़े नवाचार निकल सकते हैं, संभव हैं। और मैं समझता हूं वो हम लोग सभी देख रहे होंगे। आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। मुझे इतनी ही बात करनी है।
Good afternoon. I have set my timer to 10 minutes. And like many in the audience, I am also a fan of Yuval Harari. And I understand him by reading his books, printed books, by reading them on Kindle, by reading his printed comic books, through TV, through YouTube channel, listening to podcasts while in the car. This is the present and future of publishing and learning. Like Yuval, he gives a big picture of humanity's past, present, and future. So in 10 minutes, I can't give you a very big picture of learning, but a few glimpses. So if we go to the past, how did we evolve from apes? What distinguishes us? Standing erect, opposable thumbs, and then language evolution. That's very important. And language, as long as it remains spoken language for tens of thousands of years, the world evolved to a certain extent. Even today, we have Sentinelese tribe in the Andamans, purely on spoken tradition. So they are Homo sapiens, they talk to one another, close-knit clan or group, but stuck at a certain point in civilization. So then the next evolution happened when the writing evolved, when script evolved. So you have examples from, again, almost 10,000 years of script writing on the stones. A few centuries ago, world moved from stones to paper and ink. Then we moved to Gutenberg press. And then 30, 40 years ago, PCs came. Next cycle of evolution started. So all of you started using DTP, and so composing changed, proofreading changed. How do you print books? That changed. Then in our country, about 25 years ago, internet came. That started changing things. Then about 10 years ago, affordable smartphones came. So many people credit Xiaomi with breaching the 5,000 mark, 5,000 rupees smartphone mark. Then Jio came, data prices fell. And that's what really hit the publishing industry very, very hard. Now the new generation is absolutely glued onto YouTube and other platforms. So what has happened is, by internet and smartphones and cheap data, is democratization of a lot of things. You can convert your small home into a hotel through Airbnb. You have a car, without a taxi license, you can practically go to Uber and Ola and start that business. And if you are a content creator, an author, you did not need anyone else. You go to an online platform, publish your things, whether it's Kindle or YouTube. So democratization meant this thing, one thing, that every author, every content creator became a publisher of his or her own content. Then it also enhanced the vernacular usage. You may say that, and yesterday you honored 16, 17 language publishers. But there are 50,000 dialects in the country. There are so many, with the same script, there are multiple written languages. So who is printing books in Olchiki? Only the local guy is actually preparing YouTube videos in Olchiki, or other languages, tribal languages, other languages. In my present role as secretary in the disability department, I deal with all kinds of people. So there is a very interesting debate I see here, paper versus digital. I see the same debate in blind community. जो ओल्ड टाइमर्स हैं वो कहते हैं कि ब्रेल आनी चाहिए सब ब्लाइंड बच्चों को, क्या ब्रेल सिखाओ, आप ऑडियो बुक्स बैन कर दो 8वीं तक. जो नई जनरेशन है, 20-30 साल के बच्चे हैं, वो कहते हैं ब्रेल को बैन कर दो. आजकल ऑडियो का ज़माना है, 5 साल के बच्चे को स्मार्टफोन सिखाओ, जो ब्लाइंड बच्चा है वो उससे किताब को सुनेगा. It's very interesting debate and quite parallel to your debate. And I will be very happy if next year, among the languages, you add Braille. Braille is actually a script, plus sign language for the deaf. There are millions of videos for sign language. And many of you might not be knowing that there is a thing in Copyright Act that if your book is not accessible, it can be converted into EPUB without asking you and put on Bookshare or Sugamaya Pustakalaya. And at the moment, there are 1.14 million books and audiobooks on these two platforms. So I hope next year you will have Sign and Braille also. But along with this expansion of material comes the information overload on the kids. Only 2-3 days back, we had a meeting with NCERT and we were talking of material for the blind kids, for the deaf kids and so on. And I asked them that we need to curate material. For example, a 6th class child trying to learn volcanoes. He or she goes on YouTube, volcano, 1 million videos will come. The child may spend 5 hours in searching through 100 videos and they might not be the best videos for him or her. Next is Diksha platform by the government. There again, we actually typed volcano and 20 videos came up. So probably slightly better is QR code on the NCERT book or your books. And you take the child to the relevant video. It might be made by you or it might be just available on the YouTube or wherever else and you give the link there. So the child does not waste time. So information overload also requires curation and there was a lot of talk on curation. That's very necessary. So technology will keep on changing and I attended 2-3 sessions but did not hear much on VR, AR. But I personally believe VR and AR will be things to watch in next 2-3 years for some of you guys also. And the technology is changing fast, the hardware is changing fast, the software platforms are, the new Unreal Engine and the Unity engines are phenomenal. And the Apple Pro might also basically tilt the game here. And Apple Pro Vision. And 3D stuff is anyway many times better than 2D stuff, pictures, animations, or even 2D videos. So a lot of talk on AI here. I have been a student of AI for last 30 plus years. In '87, my BTech thesis in IIT Delhi was on natural language understanding. So it was like mini Chat GPT. And when I see newer versions of Chat GPT and GPT, I'm very happy how the things are evolving. And speech to text and text to speech. These are actually solved problems. Written language translation, that is a solved problem. If you don't believe me, go to any YouTube video, just go in the settings part, see the transcript. Whether the YouTube is in Hindi or English or Punjabi, you can see the transcript in Bengali or any other language, and it's quite perfect. And it's becoming better day by day. So these two are solved problems. What does it mean? That whether it's a book or whether it's a video, regardless of the language it is in, regardless of where it was produced, it can be consumed by anyone in the world sitting anywhere in their own language. So this is quite a game changer. And you can do it self-paced. And there's been a lot of talk on that AI will help in customization of the material. So the recommendation engines we all know, हम Alexa को बोलते हैं Alexa गाना सुना दो, Alexa को पता है आपको कैसे गाने पसंद हैं. ऐसी बच्चा जाएगा बेटा कि मुझे वॉल्केनो का बता दो या मुझे कैलकुलस का ये बता दो, तो प्लेटफॉर्म विल नो कि बच्चे की कितनी नॉलेज है, क्या आता है, किस चीज़ में वीक है, तो वो उस टाइप का कर देगा. So it's nothing new. Recommendation engines are there. I am presently doing a course on Coursera by Andrew Ng. It's on machine learning. उसमें 1.5 लाख स्टूडेंट्स हैं. I paid $100 for it. 2 महीने का कोर्स है. It's self-paced. मैं टोटल 100 आवर्स का उसमें लगाऊंगा. तो आप लगा लीजिए ये. ओके. सो 1.5 लाख इंटू $100, $15 मिलियन, 125 करोड़, और साल में ऐसे 5-6 कोर्स वो चलाते हैं. That's the kind of earning a good teacher with good platforms they can do. पर जो थोड़ी डर है कि इससे ऑथर ख़त्म हो जाएगा क्या, बुक सेलर ख़त्म हो जाएंगे क्या, मुझे ऐसा नहीं लगता. जब 100 साल पहले फोटोग्राफी आई, लोगों ने कहा पेंटिंग्स ख़त्म हो जाएंगी. पेंटिंग्स खत्म हुई क्या दुनिया में नहीं हुई? तो इसलिए GPT-4 का 2030 तक GPT-100 आ जाएगा, कोई कहते हैं GPT-25 पहुंच जाएगा तब तक। पर उससे ह्यूमन इंजेन्युटी और वो कम नहीं होगा, दैट्स माई पर्सनल बिलीफ। लास्ट 1-2 पॉइंट्स, लैंग्वेज इज स्टिल इवॉल्विंग, हैंड रिटन से टाइपिंग हो गया, टाइपिंग से स्पीच पे जाएगा और किसी चीज़ पे जाएगा, रीडिंग की तरफ से हम ऑडियो की तरफ जा रहे हैं, आपका कागज़ की बजाय हम स्क्रीन की तरफ जा रहे हैं, मे बी नेक्स्ट वर्जन होगा स्क्रीन भी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं। आज थोड़ा जो स्क्रीन है बेसिकली कंप्यूट है और स्टोरेज पार्ट है, अपने हाथ से थोड़ा सा दूर है दिमाग से, प्रोबेबली ये और छोटा होकर दिमाग के अंदर घुस जाएगा एज ए पार्ट ऑफ, आई थिंक आप सीधा डाउनलोड कर पाओगे, वन नेवर नोज। न्यूरालिंक पे उस पर प्रोजेक्ट चल रहे हैं। एंड 2047 की बात होती है, वी कैनॉट इमेजिन कि 2047 कैसा होगा। इंक्रीमेंटल तो डेफिनेटली नहीं होगा, शायद डिज़ाइनर पे भी आ जाएंगे, जीन्स प्राइसिंग आ जाएगी तब तक, और शायद उस टाइम एम्बेडेड चिप्स भी आ जाएं। तो देन ऑल ऑफ अस हैव टू री इमेजिन कि उस टाइम हम हाउ डू वी ट्रांसफर द नॉलेज फ्रॉम वन टू मैनी। थैंक यू सो मच।
थैंक यू एंड गुड इवनिंग। काफ़ी कुछ बोल गए हैं जो मुझे बोलना था, तो आई विल फाइंड पॉइंट्स टू नॉट एट ऑल। तो यू नो व्हेन अशोक जी इनवाइटेड मी, थैंक यू फॉर इनवाइटिंग मी। राजपूत जी तो पोलाइटनेस में बोल रहे थे कि मुझे पब्लिशिंग के बारे में नहीं पता कुछ, मुझे एक्चुअली कुछ नहीं पता पब्लिशिंग के बारे में, राइट? सो आई विल गिव यू द आउटसाइडर्स व्यू ऑन पब्लिशिंग. And the topic was quite wide, right? That transforming publishing. So I'll try to comment on it from what I am seeing generally getting transformed, both in technology and in businesses, right? And I saw that there've been very sessions on AI and data over these 2 days when I was looking through the program. So I thought let's think a little bit about the big picture. And जैसा कि काफ़ी लोगों ने यहाँ बात की है, that there are 2 major things where publishers are involved. One is content, and the other is distribution, right? And Rajesh ji बोल रहे थे that he was talking about transformations which I've had. तो एक बार if we see the transformations which I've had over the last many thousands of years, and ये 2 चीज़ें कैसे change हुई हैं, I think maybe we can see a little bit in the future. So I'll spend a minute on this and then say what I think where the future is going. तो जैसे कि ये बता रहे थे कि it started with the evolution of language, right? Then humans started speaking. And if you see it from the Indian lens, we built a very strong oral tradition, right? Even before writing came in, we had an oral tradition of memorizing and so on. तो content भी तब बन रहा था और distribution भी हो रही थी और लोगों के बात में पहुंच रहा था, right? To the extent that our storytelling of books like Ramayana went to the whole of Southeast Asia, right? And then the written word came in, and we got all this, a very sophisticated system of knowledge. If you look at the Indian philosophical traditions, right? Darshan Shastra को आप देखेंगे तो it was as evolved as what we see in journals and conferences today, right? People citing each other's work, criticizing each other's work, and so on. So both, if you see, we in fact अभी एक speaker विश्व गुरु की बात कर रहे थे, तो क्यों हम तब विश्व गुरु थे, उसका कारण है वो जो content produce हो रहा था. It was very high quality content, very unique content across the world in many areas. Which India gave, right? And the question is that how can we get back there, in my mind, right? And then, the printing press came, which suddenly created this publishing industry, because you can now, आप किताबें किसी की तरफ भी print करके पहुंचा सकते थे. And then, as you were saying, computers came, then came the internet, then came mobile, and now it's AI, right? Which we are in, and I think what has happened with this whole change with basically internet is that content has become commodity to some extent, right? 90% content is available everywhere, right, on the internet, and that's, I think, the biggest challenge the book industry faces, right? So my view on content is twofold, and ये पहले बात हो रही थी कि one lady who was speaking here, she was saying that publishers are content curators, right? And then there was this other talk about trust in content creation. See, I think what is happening, and as Rajesh ji was saying, that AI can now make a lot of different kinds of content, repurpose content, even the bio, साहब मेरा रीड कर रहे थे वो चैट जीपीटी नहीं लिखा था बट आई हैड टू करेक्ट इट आफ्टर दैट राइट सो आई थिंक द थिंग इज कि content can be changed by AI, repurposed, all these things will happen. But finally, we have to select what is the right content, right? Or tell it to create the kind of content which is to do. So I think the role of publishers in the future is that they have to be content specialists. It is not enough to be content curators, in my mind, right? And I'll give you an example from an industry which I came. I built this company in assessments. And assessments, we were building tests for job skills, right? So from cognitive skills to, companies like Wipro, Cognizant would use these tests for hiring, banks will use these tests for hiring, and so on. अगर आप सोचेंगे, you will think that this is a content curating business, कि आप सबसे questions ले लीजिए और एक पेपर में डाल दीजिए और फिर कंपनी उसको पूछ लेगी. But it's not really a content curating business because assessment is a very evolved science in itself. कि क्वेश्चन लिखते कैसे हैं, उसकी 4 ऑप्शन कैसे लिखते हैं, right? And उस पे there's a statistical model which is fitted to every question per se, and then that question goes in the test. Now राजपूत जी कह रहे थे कि रिसर्च भी करना चाहिए. मेरे हिसाब से that's a necessity of coming times, right? That if you want to be content specialists in your area of content, you should be able to build the best content in that area, right? And AI is a tool for it, but research and scientifically building that content is very, very important, right? And I'll give you a couple of examples, 2-3 examples in this, with due regards to everyone, right? Like the science of instruction is very, very evolved if you look at university research, but it doesn't flow in our books. Let me give you a simple example, right? That अगर आप एक बच्चे के लिए किताब लिख रहे हैं और एक स्टोरी लिख रहे हैं, उसमें आपने लिखा कि इस लड़के को ये प्रॉब्लम हुई या लड़की को ये प्रॉब्लम हुई, वो बहुत स्मार्ट था इसलिए उसने सॉल्व कर ली. नाउ व्हाट रिसर्च सेज इज, एंड दिस कम्स फ्रॉम अ स्टैनफोर्ड प्रोफेसर, इज कि आपको ये नहीं कहना चाहिए कि वो बहुत स्मार्ट था, आपको ये बोलना चाहिए उसने बहुत एफर्ट किया. अब अगर आप जाके बुक्स देखेंगे जो हम पढ़ा रहे हैं और पढ़ रहे हैं, कितने में ये गलती मिलेगी आपको, राइट? कि उसने लिखा हुआ है वो बहुत स्मार्ट था, बिकॉज देयर स्टैटिस्टिकल एविडेंस कि अगर आप वो कहेंगे तो बच्चा एफर्ट नहीं डालेगा. दिस इज नॉट एनेक्डोटल एविडेंस, दिस नंबर्स behind this, right? Again, I mean, so these are just some examples, but if you look at the story of Hansel and Gretel, right? It's a terrible story. We keep telling it again and again. I also told it to my son in a modified way, right? But there's a stepmother and the parents send the children to the forest, right? And it's just inconceivable why we are telling this story. But AI can repurpose the story in many, many ways, and you might put those in those books, and it is just, continue to propagate that wrong kind of teaching, right? So I think we need to, as far as educational content is concerned, we have to bring best practices out of research into our content, and we need to make sure that content is good. There was this person who said that the role of the publisher is to establish trust. Right? So content तो democratize हो गया है. आप YouTube पे जाइए, हजारों videos हैं, कुछ है, पर good content, and how do you make sure that you are producing good content, which is, in my mind, a partnership between the author and the publisher, right? It is not that जो author ने दिया और अपने अच्छे author को भी नहीं पता होता. जो राजपूत जी बात कर रहे थे कि in my own experience we are creating a book for kids, 5th class kids. तो वो book छापने से पहले हमने कहा चलिए 3 बच्चों को सुनाते हैं और उनका feedback लेते हैं. The whole book changed, right? Because उन्होंने बोला ये example थे तो ये समझ ही नहीं आता जो आप बोल रहे हैं, right? And this was a very interesting book. We were trying to tell some Gita concepts to children. तो उसमें एक हमने लिखी हुई थी कि भगवान परमानेंट हैं, सत्य हैं. तो हम कह रहे थे कि सत्य क्या नहीं है ये समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. तो उसमें हमने बोला कि देखिए सन जो है वो भी एक दिन खत्म हो जाएगा, सूरज जो है एक दिन खत्म हो जाएगा, राइट? तो नाउ द रिएक्शन ऑफ द किड्स वाज दैट दे वर टेरिफाइड बाय दैट एग्जांपल. मोस्ट ऑफ देम सेड, ओह हम मर जाएंगे, क्या होगा, राइट? नाउ एज एन ऑथर वी नेवर अंडरस्टूड दैट इफ यू विल से इन द बुक टू अ 3rd or a 4th class kid कि अगर सन खत्म हो जाएगा, that would be what he will or she will think about it, right? So I think that research method in educational content is very, very important, and following up with actually in-field studies to create good books. And what is happening? So this book written by Eric Branolfsson, who was at MIT and then went to Stanford, called The Second Machine Age. एंड ही सेज कि हम एक विनर टेक ऑल मार्केट में जा रहे हैं. किसी भी प्रोडक्ट या सर्विसेज एरिया में जिसके पास बेस्ट चीज होगी, सारा बिजनेस वो ग्रैब कर लेगा, राइट? एंड दिस इज नॉट entirely true, but ऐसा होता है. So the question is that can we create the best content in our specialization area? That's what I think is the future of publishing. And can you create, and when a lot of people अब विश्व गुरु की हर जना बात करता रहता है, पर प्रश्न ये है कि कैन इंडिया से कि हम किसी भी एक टॉपिक में बेस्ट कंटेंट क्रिएट करें, तब हम विश्व गुरु बनते हैं, नहीं तो नहीं बनते हैं, राइट? हम कितना भी बोल लें. एंड एट सम पॉइंट वी यूज्ड टू डू दैट, यू नो, that's the sad part of it. Similarly, in content, you can ask the question that किस प्रकार का content ChatGPT नहीं लिख सकता, right? And again, you'll come back to content which is research based, which is by talking to people and so on. And there huge number of content holes across the board. मैं आपको दो example अभी देता हूँ. You know, with one company which we are incubating in Change Engine, हम जानना, there's a very interesting thing. वो कह रहे हैं कि politicians नए ऐसे लोग politics में लाए जो अभी politics में नहीं जाते. तो वो कहते हैं कि चलिए बड़ा अच्छा आइडिया, पर पहले डेटा देखते हैं कि कौन से ऐसे पॉलिटिशियन है अभी देश में जो सेल्फ मेड है, राइट? देयर इज नो डेटा. एक एमएलए लेवल पे और एमपी लेवल पे भी अगर आप बायोग्राफी मांगेंगे, 550 एमपी होते हैं हमारे, आपको डेटा ही नहीं मिलेगा, आपको पता ही नहीं होगा वो कहाँ से और कहाँ गए, राइट? सो देयर आर सो मेनी कंटेंट होल्स. नाउ चैट जीपीटी कैन नॉट राइट अ बुक सेइंग कि अगर आप यू नो इनमें से 10 एमपीज की वो लिख दीजिए, जीवनी लिख दीजिए, कि वो डेटा है ही नहीं. Right? So I think we have to again move beyond what is commodity data in this, right? And you know your business more than that. आप कहेंगे वरुण ये सब बोल गया, ये कंटेंट कोई पढ़ता नहीं है, right? तो छाप के क्या करेंगे, कोई खरीदेगा नहीं. And I think that's what the entrepreneur has to do, right? So you have to find that sweet spot where you are doing well-researched content and there's a mass buyer for that content, right? And if you can become content specialist in particular areas, I think that's where we are being pushed, and that super specialization has happened in every area. It's not only publishing. I'll quickly talk 2 minutes about distribution. And the question I think there is कि जो अभी राजेश जी बोल रहे थे between digital and print. I think I don't see it as a medium. The way I think about it is कि जो books होती हैं, जब भी मैं एक book को देखता हूँ, for me the quality threshold in a book is the highest. अगर बुक में गलत इंफॉर्मेशन है, दैट इज मोस्ट फ्रस्ट्रेटिंग, राइट? बिकॉज आई थिंक दैट समवन इज वेरी थॉटफुली प्रोड्यूस्ड दिस पेज ऑफ 200. व्हेन आई सी अ वीडियो आई डोंट केयर, राइट? सो द बुक इज योर आर्ग्यूमेंट, योर बेसिक गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड एंड बेंचमार्क of content which has to be created, right? And but book is the starting point, right? From that book, in today's world, you need to be able to create a video, you need to be able to create a tweet, you need to be able to create a short form text per se which you can put on LinkedIn, you need to be able to create a podcast and so on. The good news is that you know, AI will create a lot of it for you, right? So that technology within a year or year and a half will, there's already that technology is there, जिसको आप टेक्स्ट दे देंगे तो उसकी वीडियो आपको बना के समराइज करके टेक्स्ट को दे देगा, बट इट विल टेक अ लिटिल मोर टाइम to get matured. So, but in the next 12 to 18 months, it will get matured. So, I think you have to create very good content, and not as content curators. From content curators, it's a journey to content specialists, and from a journey of saying that you know, the printing press led to books, right? So that is one media of publishing. But why are these all others are not medias of publishing? The concluding thought, I think, is that when you think about distribution and, you know, using all these different content formats, finally बच्चे को वापस या पढ़ने वाले को वापस किताब पे ही लाना है, because जो उसको किताब से मिल सकता है वो उन सारे मीडियम से नहीं मिल सकता. पर ये these all mediums are एक जरिया उधर तक पहुंचने के लिए, उनको अट्रैक्ट करने के लिए किताब के लिए. So as the future of publishing is content specialization, and to me it is multi-model distribution, but being able to pull people back to books. So thank you. Those are my thoughts. Thank you.
I think the presentations were so clear and crisp that there are no queries. I thank both our speakers on the dais and all of you for listening with attention. And I think this is the last session also. Huh? So it is indeed, everybody has talked highly of this conference. I hope many good things will follow and you will have greater energy, enthusiasm, and innovations. I say when there are ideas, when ideas are exchanged, when imagination is encouraged, innovations are never in short supply. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. With this, we come to the end of our two-day session. And now I'll request Ramesh Mittalji and Dr. Ashok Gupta to come on the stage and give the gratitude. Please pay our gratitude from the FIP side to the panelists, please. Thank you very much. With this, we come to the end of our two-day session, and we have come to the closing ceremony. And for that, we have amongst us Honorable Justice Jasmeet Singh Ji from Delhi High Court. I welcome him, kindly welcome him. Justice Jasmeet Singh was appointed as Standing Counsel for Delhi Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee DSGMC in Delhi High Court in 2013. He was appointed as Central Government Standing Counsel in Delhi High Court in 2014 and as Judge of Delhi High Court on 24th February 2021. Born on 26 February 1968 at Delhi, Justice Singh did his schooling from St. Xavier's School, New Delhi. He received his BCom honors from Hindu College of Delhi University. He then attended Campus Law Center, University of Delhi, and received his LLB in 1992 and enrolled as an advocate with Bar Council of Delhi in the same year. Thereafter, he practiced law primarily at the civil side in Delhi High Court, the subordinate courts, and tribunals such as Debt Recovery Tribunal, Industrial Tribunal, National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission, National Commission for Minority Educational Institutions, and Delhi School Tribunal. Sir, we welcome to our concluding session, and I'll request you to please kindly join us on the stage. I'll request our President Emeritus, Shri Ashok Ghoshji, to honor sir. Sir, I'll request you to kindly stay. Please stay, sir. Sir, to make this conference possible, successful, and there was hard work done by people from behind the screen, I will request Justice Jasmeet Singh, sir, and our President Emeritus to give them certificate of appreciation, and I'll call them one by one. Madam Anu Talwar, who is GM of FIP. She has worked very hard Madam Ravinder Kaur, Mr. Bantu, we have more persons who have helped us, and I'll call Ms. Shailu. They have worked tirelessly, sir. Khushbu Singh,
Look here. Yes.
Monia has come. Kindly come on the stage, Monia, and take your certificate. And now I'll call Shreya. Shreya has done a lot of work. Yeah.
Yes, look here. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And I request Justice Jasmeet Singh ji to kindly bless us, sir.
Mr. Ashok Ghosh, President Emeritus, Mr. Mittal, President, Mr. Ashok Gupta, Honorary Secretary, Mr. Naveen Gupta, Treasurer, and Mr. Pranav Gupta, Joint Secretary. I am thankful and very delighted to be here as part of your 50 years celebration. I think the Federation of Indian Publishers have done a commendable job, and publishing, to my mind, is one of the most important part of a nation building. It is publishing is in fact the it's the keeper of history. You take out a chapter, you publish it, you print something which is going to last you forever, and it will be seen for generations altogether. So I think you have done a commendable job. I congratulate you for organizing this event and wish you all the best. Thank you and Jai Hind.
So with this, we come to the end of our two-day workshop. And formally, informally, I will thank everybody. There are so many support, whether it is from FIP office, whether it is from Prince Publications office, whether it is from Claridge's Hotel, whether the persons who have come from outside Delhi, everybody has supported. And I will not name individual, I will not name one. It is for one and all. Thank you very much for being part of this two-day celebrations. Thank you very much.